This meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order, and the chair calls on City Clerk Ivan Nelson for the roll call.
Councilman Harris?
Here.
Councilman Williams is somewhere in the building, but not here at the moment, as well as Councilman Avery. Councilman Eccles?
Here.
Stewart?
Here.
Councilman Cannon is absent today. Councilman Reed?
Hello.
We do have a quorum present, and our meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask Brian Harbison to lead the invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Almighty God, we just thank you for today. We thank you for life. We thank you for the blessings on us as individuals, and especially on our great city. Pray for our leaders today, our council and our mayor and his administration, that you'll give them the wisdom and the courage to do what is right, to make the right, sometimes tough decisions. And God, we promise to give you the praise for all the good things you're doing in our life. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
I guess our lawyer was holding him up for it once.
He did. Better be careful, Lee.
He was trying to give us some legal advice, which we wouldn't accept it, but anyway.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the work session and the city council meeting held on October the 15th.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
Chair will entertain a motion to ratify payment of the accounts for the week of October the 11th through the
So moved.
17th.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
Proclamations. Mayor.
I don't think there's anyone here to accept this, is what I'm told. Are y'all here to accept? Well, this proclamation? No, it's not music. That's why I didn't think. We want you to come up and sing one right quick now. Whereas last year, 1 in every 4 of the 821,268 Alabamians living in poverty experienced legal problems, with the majority of these civil problems being consumer issues, credit harassment, utility non-payment, bankruptcy issues, health issues, Medicaid, government insurance, nursing home, family law issues, divorce, child support, custody, abuse, and employment issues, unemployment benefits, pensions, lost jobs, and housing issues, unsatisfactory repairs, foreclosure, eviction, and poor living conditions. Whereas 28.7% of the citizens of Gadsden live in poverty. Each year, the low-income citizens of Gadsden lack access to legal assistance for their legal problems that are often critical to their safety and independence, which forces them to resolve complex legal problems on their own. The need for the legal aid in Alabama is dire, since unlike in the criminal defense system, funding for low-income Alabamians who need civil legal assistance has not yet been met, with the consequences being a lack of access to justice, which is devastating for the poor and which weakens our democratic society as a whole. There are fewer than 60 paid legal aid lawyers to serve the more than 422,119 low-income households in the state of Alabama. Although 24% of the members of the Etowah County legal community donated their time, talents, and free legal services each year, a huge unmet need for legal assistance remains for the disadvantaged in our area. The state of Alabama continues to be impacted by the lingering national recession and the high unemployment, which results in significant budget cuts to numerous state programs and services such as indigent defense and state agencies such as the judicial system. As a result of these events and the continued needs of Alabama residents, the demand for pro bono services by members of the Alabama State Bar has never been greater. Sponsored by the Alabama State Bar and its Pro Bono Celebration Task Force, the support from local bar associations statewide, Pro Bono Week 2012 from October 20th through the 26th, 2013, will educate the public about the extensive work Alabama lawyers are doing, donating their time to improve the lives of vulnerable members of our community, and will encourage more individuals in the legal community to get involved in pro bono work and financially support the legal aid system. Pro Bono Week 2013 will feature legal aid clinics throughout the state, assisting Alabamians who greatly need legal assistance but cannot afford to pay for that help, and will feature legal aid clinics throughout the state, assisting Alabamians who greatly need legal assistance but cannot afford to pay for the help, and also features service projects throughout the state of Alabama, helping lawyers and law students make volunteer connections with the legal aid organizations serving Alabamians. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Sherman Guyton, Mayor of the City of Gadsden, do hereby proclaim October 20th through the 26th, 2013, to be Pro Bono Week, and urge all Gadsden residents to recognize contributions of our legal community helping those in the most need. Thank you.
Mayor. We got the other one. But before you read that, Mayor, can I
Okay.
comment on that one?
Yes.
I got some bad news last week, or week before last now, about Legal Services Corporation of Alabama. You're talking about pro bono work. We used to have a legal service office here in the city of Gadsden. They shut it down and moved it to Anniston. Now it's my understanding that they're shutting the one down in Anniston. And they're going to only have 4 legal service offices throughout the state, one in Huntsville, Birmingham, Montgomery, and Mobile. And, you know, here we are now talking about how great they are and the need for it, but yet they're cutting back. And this question and everything else they're doing up in Washington. Poor people are being affected by what's happening in Washington in a lot of ways, and this is one of the ways. So I just thought I want to add that little piece, that talk to your congressmen and talk to your representative and make sure that some of that money comes back to this community so people of need can have some legal representation.
Does that money come out of the Justice Department? On that?
It was in the U.S. budget. I'm not sure if it came out of the Justice Department. I think they had a line item in the U.S. budget for legal work. I know Legal Services of USA, the office is right there across from the train station there in Washington. I visited them on several occasions. But it all comes back through state grants directly to Legal Services. Then they spread it.
Like CDBG.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
We have a young lady that's over at the Echo Center that's employed by Legal Services, and I'm not sure how that's going to affect her. I think that they might be cutting her out because my understanding is they're just going to have 4 locations. So people need to be aware that that service is dwindling for people in need. Okay.
And the smaller municipalities always, you know, it all comes downhill.
It all comes down.
We always get left out on the money.
Yeah.
I have a proclamation here for Carol Larkin and group. Okay. Oh, okay.
I'm Carol Larkins. This is Diana Rampy.
Whereas music plays an increasingly important role in our world today and is one of the most sublime of human pursuits and is subscribed to by all races and creeds, music is also the language of all people and one of the greatest forces in creating peace and harmony. The Alabama Federation of Music Clubs, the National Federation of Music Clubs, and cooperating organizations dedicated to encouraging young musicians to increase their musical knowledge and advance American music, join forces to direct attention to the dynamic influence of music in everyday living. Therefore, I, Sherman Guyton, Mayor of the City of Gadsden, by virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim the month of November 2013 as Parade of American Music Month in the City of Gadsden, asking all citizens of this community to observe and take part in activities that recognize the importance of music, musicians, and musical organizations to the cultural life of our city, state, nation, and world.
Okay, well, thank you.
The photographer didn't do a good job.
I'm Carol Larkins. I'm the president of the Gadsden Music Club. And I want to thank the mayor and the city council for all their support in keeping music not only in Gadsden, but into our schools. Any day, any night, any time of year, we have American music here in Gadsden. And the National Federation was founded because we wanted to protect, preserve, and promote American music. And also, I want to thank the council for helping us. We have 3 outstanding young ladies. Now, I'm not excluding the young men, but they did not apply for our scholarship. We give a scholarship every year, up to $500. One of our young ladies is in Indiana. She is a straight A student. She has a double major of mathematics and cello. We have another young lady that goes to Sanford. She plays piano and violin and several other instruments. She not only composes, but she writes and produces her music. And we have a young lady that was just recently in the paper that was accepted to march in the Macy's parade and play her trumpet. And she was one of our scholarships winners this year. And I want to thank you again for that. And we certainly do appreciate the mayor and the council for giving us this proclamation, because American music is very important to all of us. And thank you.
I can't say enough about what we have in the schools today. Of course, that's been one of my big things from the beginning, because I was, thank the Lord, I was here when it started 20-something years ago now. And it has really been a blessing for a lot of kids. They have gone on to the youth orchestra. They have gone all over the dead blame world, and we have one of the best youth orchestras in the whole United States.
Yeah.
And people don't realize what kind of discipline it takes to learn to play an instrument the way these kids play an instrument. You don't do it overnight. You work to get to that point. Anyway, we appreciate what the music club does. Thank you.
I believe I read where the youth orchestra going, their next trip is to Puerto Rico. Is that correct? Y'all know that?
Yeah.
I think that's correct.
Some of the students back there said yes.
Okay.
You need a chaperone, I'd like to go with you.
Christmas before last, I went to New York with the youth orchestra and the Downtown Dance Conservatory, and they played and performed at John Jay College. I'd really never heard of that, but it's a school, mainly, I think, legals, like for a lot of attorneys. But I did hear that name mentioned at John Jay College on Law and Order one night, which was sort of surprising. But when they performed, the orchestra was down below the stage, and it was a sellout crowd, and there wasn't, that many people there from Alabama, but there are other people who come to their concerts and all there at the college. And when I was leaving, I was listening to some of the people, and they were talking about the dancers, and then when they saw the orchestra come up, that the orchestra was all youth. That really impressed them too. They were really making a lot of good comments about that. So it is. That's great.
I've forgotten what I was going to say. Somebody handed me something, and this is more important. How about the leader of the Quiz Bowl students to come up to the mic? We're happy to have you here today.
Well, thank you. We're glad to be here. If everybody's not aware of it, we've got our Scholars Bowl team here from Gadsden City High School, and I've had the honor for the last 3 years to be the coach of the team. This would be our 4th year. And every year we've been in the top 50 in the nation, but this last year at the national tournament, Gadsden City High School placed 9th in the nation in competitive academics. And so we appreciate y'all having us here today to honor them. We'd like to recognize the students if we may at this time. Sure. Krisha Amin, go ahead and stand when I call your name. Patricia Baez, Taylor Bowley, Jonathan Childers, Jacob Dowdy, Harry Hager, Sydney Hill, Draven Jackson, Connor Jarecki, Ryan Johnson, Justin Kelly, Anthony Lipscomb, Eric Lorenzana, Isaac Murphy, Sore Oguntoyo, Kalen Pearson, Ani Singar, Neil Singar, Aaron Simmons, Jeremiah Sims, Ashaman Sinha, Harsh Sinha, and John Wade. And since they're Scholars Bowler, you can see that we have bowling shirts for the kids. We think that we have the coolest shirts in the nation. So go ahead and sit down. I had been asked to do this, and I don't know if it's out of order, but I had been asked to give a sample of the questions that we were asked at the national championship. So we have 4 questions here. And the way it works is the students can any time during the course of it, and this is, if you'd like, members of the council, I'd be happy to read this and see if you guys can get it. You can just say buzz and then see if you have an answer. But there's 4 questions you have.
I need to warn you beforehand.
Yes, sir.
We were over at the school this morning. Some of these guys got the question.
Okay.
So they'll be cheating.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Also, Chief, can you make sure he gets detained at the door before he leaves?
All right. So you've got 3 seconds after the reading of the question, or you can stop during the reading of the question. And I might say that these guys compete. It's really fun when we walk in. And one thing I would like to get, if anybody ever has a little miniature Gadsden flag we can put up, when we compete, because when we go in and people ask us where we're from, they're always like, well, they never heard of it, and they're like, And then teams from New York and New Jersey and all over, and then we trounce them, and then it's like, how did that happen? So that's always fun. We'd like to, when we say we're from Alabama and Gadsden, I always want to know where Gadsden is and all that. But and my family originally, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Davenport. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I'm the ROTC instructor at the high school. And my family's from here, so my whole career, people were always saying that, being from North Alabama, right. Northeast Alabama. But we're always proud, very proud to represent Gadsden and beat these teams from all over parts of the country. But the first question, Henry VII united the houses of Lancaster and York by marrying Elizabeth of York, and in so doing ended this conflict. What is this event in which a decisive battle in 1484 was fought on Bosworth Field? Yes.
100 Years' War?
Nope. War of the Roses, that's correct. I better put my glasses on. War of the Roses.
He was over at the school this morning. That don't count.
He's the last one.
That's it. That's the other.
He's the last one up here to graduate.
All right. Second question. Edgar Lee Masters, Robert Sherwood, Carl Sandburg, Doris Kearns Goodwin all wrote biographies of what great American?
Get those names again. Can we hit that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I wasn't
I'm
serious.
Edgar Lee Masters, Robert Sherwood, Carl Sandburg, Doris Kearns Goodwin all wrote biographies of what great American? I think that's 3 seconds. Would be Abraham Lincoln. Okay. Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
All right, question number 3. It can be frequently deformed by deviation. What is this term derived from the Latin word for wall for the flap of cartilage that divides the 2 nostrils?
Septum.
Septum.
Yeah.
Deviated septum. That's right. And question number 4. Just hit your table or say buzz if you want to answer or whatever.
Okay.
All right. The elephant is the national symbol of this nation, whose further southwest coast is on the Andaman Sea. Many of the B-52 bombing raids of North Vietnam were made by aircraft stationed in what country west of Laos? Yes?
Bangkok.
Thailand.
Thailand.
Yeah, Thailand. Well,
Bangkok is
Thailand.
in
Well,
Thailand.
Bangkok,
Yeah,
that
Bangkok.
would be wrong for me. They're good, that's good. All right, so that's a sample of the questions we have. Yes, sir?
I'm going to protest.
Yes, sir.
I went to night school, and you're asking these questions during the day, and I'm missing them all.
It's all about what you're used to, right? Well, thank you so much for having us. Thank you very much.
These kids are all really into technology, but I'm smarter than most of them. I know how to use a rotary phone, and I bet they didn't even know what a rotary phone is.
But we did go over to the school this morning and visit the school and the technology program and stuff, and I was highly impressed with that, but I'm also highly impressed with these young people on the Scarlet Bowl, too. I mean, to come in ninth in the nation is a high honor, and we really want to thank them for representing our city very well. So, yeah.
I want to embarrass a couple because as you guys know, my children are in the school system, or at least I have one left in the school system, and I want to recognize Mr. Lipscomb, whose family I know quite well, and then Ashaman, whose name I continually hear I've continually heard throughout the years. He's a very bright young man, and I know that group is comprised of bright young people. So keep up the good work, young folks. Definitely.
And there is at least one set of twins out there, right?
Yeah.
At least one set? Set of twins, okay.
Two, I'd like to introduce Mr. Blackwell. Stand up, Mr. Blackwell.
Who was that?
He's the
principal.
He's the principal at Gadsden City High School, and actually, he used to be a policeman here with the City of Gadsden. Is that correct? I think, yeah.
He don't
And
like to own up to that one.
And he hadn't even had to use any police skills while at the high school. But he does a good job, and the school runs really well. If you've ever been down there, it's quite orderly. Thank you, Mr. Blackwell.
And kids, he couldn't answer the questions either, so I don't feel so bad.
I don't think Mr. Blackwell came in here for that. He's doing a good job. Thank you.
Y'all just keep up the good work. Okay, let's see where we are.
Unfinished business. Unfinished business.
Unfinished business, we have none today. Number 9, this is a time and place as advertised to conduct a public hearing, allowing anyone to speak in opposition to or in favor of a resolution ordering abatement of nuisances on property located at 1127 Stillman Avenue in District 1, the state of Alabama, and Harold E. Scott being the last known owners. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of it?
Mr. President, I'm Brian Harbison with the Building Department. We started this case in May of last year. There have been no improvements. There are no permits to improve. And we're asking today for a resolution to abate this nuisance.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak in favor of it?
Brian, when you say May of last year, you talking about May of 2012?
Correct.
Which is over a year.
I've got some overnight today.
I know. I kind of figured that. But you know why I'm asking that? We've had some discussions with some of the residents in my district in particular who wants to know why those houses are not down. I just want to let them know it's a process and work. It takes a little time to get them done.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
The next public hearing is a resolution ordering abatement of nuisances on property located at 907 South 16th Street in District 5, State of Alabama, Department of Revenue, and Quick Finance Company being the last known owners. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of it?
Mr. President, we started this case in February of 2012. There have been no improvements. There are no permits to improve. We're asking today for a resolution to abate this nuisance.
Brian, is that the electrical building there between Alabama and Kyle, where it sort of comes to a point? You know what I'm talking about down there? Used to be an electrical place. It's got a deep lot.
You can see it.
That's
now,
not
if
it.
That's what you're
Okay.
talking about.
No, that's not it. But I just wondered if that was one of them. That's, I never see any activity on a couple of those right there. You know what I'm talking about? Okay.
Is anybody else wish to speak in favor of it? Chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
11 is our next public hearing, is a resolution ordering abatement of nuisances on property located 2109 Hill Avenue in District 6. Peggy Brian Jenkins being the last known owner. And is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Anybody who would like to speak in favor of it?
Mr. President, we started this case in November of 2011. It originally started out as a burned structure. There was a permit obtained shortly after our case began. They did a little work, demolition work inside, but did no other improvements. And we're asking today for a resolution to abate this.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak in favor of it? Chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Since Johnny's not here, is there anything?
Yeah, he said something about it, but I mean, if you want to table it, we can, but.
Well, I don't, if he wants it done,
Did he talk to you, Brian? He did. Okay.
He could bring it up next week if he has a problem.
Okay.
He said something about that burn. This is the one you said was burned, right? That's correct. Okay. Yeah, he said something about that.
okay. Do we have a motion?
We do.
Second.
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
12 is a resolution ordering abatement of nuisances on property located at 402 Hastings Street in District 7. Doris F. Benefield and Don Benefield being the last known owners. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of it?
Mr. President, we started this case in August of 2011. There have been no improvements to the property. There are no permits to improve. We're asking today for a resolution to abate this nuisance.
I got a question. Is that house empty?
It's not occupied, but
Yeah, I
it's
know.
not empty.
That's what I was going to say. I know the folks. I think the lady's in a nursing home, but she has some sons. Have any of them contacted her?
And I talked with Mr. Reed about that this morning. No one's contacted us.
Yeah. About the being empty, I just wanted to make sure we photograph everything or whatever, and maybe we can get, Ben, do you know how to get in
Yeah, I
touch
think
with them?
Ben's going to address
I
that.
tell you what, I was going, I didn't have a chance to talk to you. I'm going to ask for a 14-day or 2-week table on this.
Okay.
To give me an opportunity to call the sons.
Yeah.
One more time. This has been going on for quite a while. We've held off a long time. Brian's done a good job on it, but it's time to make a move.
Yeah.
She has collectibles. She has a lot of things in that house
I
that
know.
I need to get with her and
Okay.
maybe get that out of there.
That'd be good.
So I'm asking for a 2-week table.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to table the resolution for 2 weeks, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries to table for 2 weeks.
Our final public hearing is a resolution assessing nuisance abatement lien against property located at 3609 West Million Boulevard in District 7. Arturo Gonzalez being the last known owner. This is for demolition, which has already been performed, and the amount is $3,025.36. Is there anyone who'd like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Does anyone wish to speak in favor of it? Chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
New business, is there any new business?
Yes, Mr. President, I have several items. The first being, and I would like to ask for unanimous consent to consider a resolution and an ordinance accepting funds from the Alabama Power Foundation.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the ordinance and the resolution today as new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, this is how much? A $10,000 grant for the Alabama Power Company for us to buy 100 trees to be planted at Marani Park, the softball complex, and Nakalula Falls. In honor of the 100th celebration of the 100th anniversary of the steam plant being in Gadsden.
Is there any other discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance and the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
And I also have a resolution authorizing agreement with Academy Sports and Outdoors for $1,200. I would like to ask for unanimous consent to consider that today.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today as an item of new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, this is a resolution authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city to execute an agreement with Academy Sports to be a co-sponsor of monies for, and provide monies for parks and recreation in the amount of $1,200 annually.
Is there any other? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Any other new business?
Yes, Mr. President, I have a couple of items that I'd like to ask for consideration under new business today. The first of which is a resolution authorizing assignment of rights to DHR for contractual items. I'd like to ask that we consider this today.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today as new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, as the resolution caption states, this is the city authorizing the assignment of rights to DHR for contractual rights related to the construction of the DHR building. As I understand it, there are some disputed items that require that certain contractual rights be deferred to the authority or to the board.
Any other? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
The second item, Mr. President, is a resolution authorizing a change order number 2 for work at the Weaver building. I'd like to ask that we consider that today.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today as an item of new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move for passage.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, again, this is change order number 2, and this change order is small in scope as it only constitutes the construction of a witness stand and a wall and the removal and boarding up of windows.
Witness stand and a wall, okay.
I went over there yesterday and looked at it, and it's really coming along. I think you'll probably be finished by the end of the year. You planning on moving in by then, Mayor?
Where's that, to the court?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the judge's bodyguard.
This is to get that building ready to move the court over there. And of course, if you come by here on court day at City Hall, it is chaotic. There's no parking. It's just a really inconvenient on everybody's part.
There's some nice space over there for police, too.
Yeah,
That gives us a police
It's-
presence.
And
It's
there's
gonna-
a substation over there. There'll be somebody there all the time.
We have about 10,000 people a year come through court here, every Tuesday and Thursday, not every, but the total for the year. But the police precinct with the security desk sergeant day and night and extra patrol car, there'll be 3 patrol cars on that side of town. So it's gonna be good.
So we're gonna have a desk sergeant?
Yeah.
Finally, again.
Isn't that correct, Chief? We'll have an officer. Okay, yeah,
But I'm just saying, though, you're gonna have somebody there.
yeah.
Because, you know, I don't know if this is the place to talk about that, but I can remember when we used to have a desk sergeant down here, and I know of several occasions where people were being followed and some things were going on, or somebody was being harassed, they could always come down to City Hall because there was a police officer here.
That's right.
And when they cut that out, for the life of me, I couldn't understand that. So now the public will have a place to go and drive to, as opposed to
Right.
being out here trying to find somebody, an officer on the street. They can just come straight to that area. There will be somebody there at all times, 24 hours.
What happens if the person following you is from City Hall? What do you do then?
You go to City Hall. I mean, some people are told not to stop, you know, because, you know, you got some fake guys out there. But, you know, up until now, they had to stop because you couldn't go to City Hall to make sure that that guy was for real. But now they can drive up to, they will be able to do that, and then, you know, the police then won't say they were trying to flee them
Or failing to yield?
or failing to yield or whatever. They wanted to make sure that they were in a lighted place where, and make sure it was a real police officer. So that's the difference, and I'm glad to know we're gonna have that.
Don't we have an officer on duty here, Chief?
At this time, we call someone in if we,
Okay.
Yeah. See, they don't have one, you can't just drive up. I know a lady was being battered by her husband, and when we had one here, she drove straight here, and, you know, he had to stop because there was a police presence. But we hadn't had that in years, so I'm glad to know that we're gonna go back to that they will have a place that they can go,
That's good.
In East
a safe
Gadsden.
place.
That's good.
Yeah,
In
wherever
East
it is, yeah,
Gadsden.
yeah.
The
East
precinct
Gadsden.
in East Gadsden.
That's what I'm saying, but that's good, though, yeah.
Chief, you can explain this to the patrol. You want to explain about the patrol staging over there or is that right? Okay. I was talking about the patrol at 6 in the morning or whatever, and 6 at night. They'll be staging over there, is that not correct?
yes, that's correct.
For roll call? Yeah.
That'll be our transfer point. The entire patrol division will go
Yeah.
to that area. And they will make relief from that area at shift change. The Detective Bureau and the administration will stay in this building over here.
Okay.
It's going to be good.
It's gonna be good.
Good relative to the police
High
presence.
visibility. High visibility at 6 o'clock in the evening especially.
All right.
Okay. Need to vote?
You vote.
We need to vote. Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Any other new business?
Bill.
Yeah, Mr. President, I have a resolution I'd like to ask for unanimous consent to consider this morning. It's a resolution authorizing an agreement with the Etowah County Board of Education.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today as an item of new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Now, last for passage, please.
Second.
Any discussion?
This is a agreement with the Etowah County Board of Education to, they have some dirt out near the high school, Hokes Bluff High School, that they want moved, and we need dirt at the landfill. So it's a mutual win-win for both of us, so that's what this is about. They'll give us the dirt, and it takes a lot of dirt to to man that landfill out there. So, good for everybody.
I've got a comment on that. When we started that, about 2 years ago, they wanted to get rid of the dirt, and we need it every day at the landfill. We get fined if we don't have the trash covered. And we built a small road to get to the dirt, and had people calling, complaining that we were building a road in Hope's Bluff. So the reason we built that road was to get free dirt, I assure you.
Okay.
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Is there any other new business? If not, I'll entertain a motion, we adjourn.
You want to comment?
Well, I'll let you talk today.
Okay, that's okay.
How'd you know I had no comment today?
I ain't got a comment.
Well, I'll start on this end then. Mayor, you want to start?
Well, given the opportunity, Litchfield Middle School still needs your continued support. I was talking to the principal out there, Michael Cook, on Friday, Thursday of last week, and they are establishing a Scholars Bowl at Litchfield Middle School, so, which is, one of the, we just talked about Scholars Bowl, kids at Gadsden City High School today, and this is a feeder school, so it just helps to promote the progress that we are making at Litchfield Middle School. So I ask you to support your schools in your neighborhood.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a quick reminder to everyone that we're still in the midst of October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so continue to support both the American Cancer Society and other groups that are supporting fundraising for research relative to cancer research. And, of course, the Quality of Life Healthcare Services will be having an event at its corporate offices just off Piedmont Highway. And I think it's a pink carpet affair, if you will, at 11 a.m., I believe, again, on Thursday of this week. So all that can attend that, please go out and support, as well as other events that I may have failed to mention. Again, I want to echo what Councilman Harris has said about Litchfield and other schools in the community. Let's be sure to go out and support. And something that he speaks to quite often is even if you don't have children in those schools, please go out and try to support, because what they need more than anything, in particular as it relates to those parent-teacher organizations, is they need organizational support. Many of those parents are willing, they just don't know where to start and don't necessarily have the resources. So go out and support where you can. The last thing I'd like to mention, of course, many of us may have seen it in the news today, but there was a recent school shooting in Nevada. Please, ma'am, and please, sir, as my former pastor used to say, please make sure that we keep school security on the radar. That's not something we can get hot and cold about. It's something that we need to keep on the radar. I think this council and the mayor are all on board as it relates to school security, and our belief and our position is that there needs to be security at every school, not just some. So again, please make sure that you keep that item before the school board and our school board employees to ensure that that's happening at our schools. That's all I have.
Okay. Well, I wasn't going to comment after you said meeting adjourned, but since you're going to give us the opportunity, and I just want to remind folks that
You have 15 minutes.
I got 15 minutes, thank you. I just want to remind people about what's happening in Washington. And we talked about the school shooting. We've talked about a number of issues here today, legal services shutting down. All of that is due to what's happening in Washington. And what's happening in Washington is due to a few people who have some personal vendettas against the president. We had an incident, not an incident, but we had a protest over the weekend, I understand, on Saturday that there were some protesters over across the bridge, across the walkway on Megan, want to impeach the president. Well, they've got a right to say that and got a right to protest. But those same folk, it's my understanding, that live here in this county, don't realize that their county is one of the counties that's going to go liking for free legal services. And I know my wife used to work that county when legal services had an office here in Gadsden. And the vast majority of their clients at the Gadsden office came from that community. They don't realize that the folks that they're supporting cut out their right to legal services. And I understand they almost needed some legal services work in order to get a permit. So people need to be mindful and be aware of what you out here supporting and who you're supporting. Because again, like I say, if you don't like the president, that's okay. But you shouldn't be liking those folk in Congress who's cutting out food stamps for those folks in that county, where a lot of them receive food stamps. You need to be out here not supporting those individuals who shut down Head Start programs, who've cut out public assistance programs when it comes down to helping people with their power bills and stuff like that and their electrical bills. And so people need to be aware of that. And I couldn't pass up this opportunity this morning to say that again, that we need to be aware of who we send to Washington, who we send to Montgomery, and even who we send to City Hall. That's all. I didn't need my 15 minutes.
Well, in that case, I'll entertain a motion we adjourn.
Absolutely.
You're not going to let me speak?
No, I ain't gonna let you
You
speak.
said you didn't have anything to
Well,
say.
He didn't until I said
thought of
something.
something I would like to say. We toured the tech center at the Gadsden City High School this morning, and I'm just really impressed with the education opportunity that the citizens of Gadsden give their kids. We've got a great high school out there we all be very, very proud of. So, that's all I have to say.
You want to talk now, too?
15 minutes? I was gonna tell Robert if he was gonna talk 15 minutes, I wasn't gonna be here no way. It didn't matter. No, I didn't have anything. After a week at Myrtle Beach, I don't care what y'all do.
Motion we adjourn.
This meeting is adjourned.